What's up YouTube? Back here with another video today. In today's video we're going to the dyno. We're going to finally know what the Lightning makes on its current setup. That way we can get a good baseline before we swap it with the 2.3 TVS. It's bright and early in the morning. It's supposed to be nice and cool. I think the high is like 62 today, so it's perfect dyno weather. And it's really going to tell us if we're going to make the most optimum numbers. It's probably going to be today. So we're gonna go see what it makes. At the end of the video I will do a full rundown of the build, but right now we are about to head out and go get this thing on the dyno. So enjoy these dyno pulls and then we will get into the specs of the build. Alright guys, so we're back from the dyno. Made it home in one piece, which is always a win. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the numbers and the pulls and kind of explain everything that went on. Everything went pretty good. And then I will go over the detailed specs of the build for those of you that may be new, or maybe you just need a refresher on everything that's done to the truck. But before we get into any of those, I want you to take a quick second. I put a link in the description to BackyardDyno's channel. That's the gentleman that we were at BackyardDyno, and I wanted to show some support for his channel. I'd like to run up some numbers for him, so I want everyone to take a second, click that link, go sub to his channel, and go watch and like some of his videos. That would be really awesome if you guys could do that for me. We worked out a little thing, and if you guys run up his numbers enough, maybe I'll get some free dyno time. So go run those numbers up and go subscribe to his channel and show him some support real quick, and then I will wait while you guys do that and come on back. Okay, so I assumed you guys did that for me. I'd really appreciate it if you did, but let's go ahead and get into what happened. Like you guys saw, the numbers were 485 horsepower and 561 torque. That's not really that bad. That's not as much as we made before. We have made more. We've made 501, 569. So we're about 15 horsepower down from the last time we dynoed. But there's a lot of factors that can play into that. The way it's strapped down, it's a different dyno. Could be calibrated a little bit different. A lot of things go into that. We do have a little more boost, a little more cooling, but it's a different tune. I know Eric has me pretty far away from the ragged edge on the tune wise. Not to say it's conservative, don't really like to use that word because people don't understand what it takes to make horsepower. It takes a lot to make power with these trucks, especially on the Eaton. So 485 is not bad. I'm happy with that. Another issue that we think was going on is these radials. I didn't realize, I knew radials would soak up some power, but I completely forgot about all the extra sidewall since they're mounted on 15s. This thing has a lot of sidewall, and we think that that was robbing at least 20 or so horsepower because we set up a camera aimed right at the wheels like you guys saw, and you could see when the wheels weren't moving, they were kind of wrapped around the rollers. Even when we pumped them up, we ran them at 40 psi, and you could see that they were wrapped around the rollers a little bit, and then when we'd get on them, it kind of stretch up a little. Not a lot, but I do think that the radials could have played a factor into that as well. But I'm not going to use it as an excuse. I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to use the fact that it's a different dyno and different calibration, all that stuff. It really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. 485, 561 are the numbers, no excuses, and I'm happy with that. That's not bad. Like I said, that's a little less than before, but who really cares? It's just a baseline, and when you're talking about dynos, they're just a tool. You don't want to get hung up on numbers. It really doesn't matter. Track times is what matters. So it's just a baseline. That's pretty close to what we were before. Like I said, we were 501, 569 before, so it's right in the same ballpark. The extra boost probably equaled out with the extra cooling, and we're probably sitting right around 500 horsepower still. I mean, that's close enough to me. That's fine. Like I said, I'm happy. As you saw, the truck ran really good and really strong. It sounded killer, especially in that little shop he's got back there. It was just echoing everywhere. It sounded sick, but super happy with it, guys. Happy with the outcome. So let's go ahead and get into what's done to the truck. Okay, so I'm using my little cheat sheet here, and I'll put this up at the end of the video on the screen so you guys can pause it and use it for yourself. But basically, we have a JDM Engineering built 5.4 liter 2 valve, same motor that come in these, but brand new, fully forged, 9 to 5 to 1 compression, bored 20 over, with everything you can do to it done to it. Has built and ported heads, same deal, fully built, brand new ported. I think they're Romeo heads. That's what JDM uses. And stage 2 cams. And that's pretty much it. Motor wise, we have an Insaner Performance built transmission, which is a transmission that's fully built by Rob Sander. He's an OG Lightning guy, and he really knows his stuff. Circle D 2400 12-inch billet stall converter. Joker's Performance ported Eaton. Everybody knows that. With a 2.7 upper, 10-pound lower pulley. So we are really spinning this thing. It should be making north of 20 psi, but we see about 15. I can show you that on the dyno graph as well. It actually holds 15 pretty steady. This JC pulley bridge, shout out to JC Customs, is awesome. Almost zero belt slip. You could see the boost when it built boost, and it maintained 15 all the way through the pull. No dips, no belt slip, no nothing. So that is awesome. So if you want one of these pulley bridges, go to JC Customs. I will put a link in the description for that as well. Use code DEBTLIFE and you'll save 10% off. This thing is awesome. I had zero belt slip. So shout out to JC Customs. Go check him out. And remember to use code DEBTLIFE to save 10% off everything you shop with JC. So go do that. This thing is beautiful. I actually had the guy that operated the dyno comment on that. So that's awesome. Glad that worked out really well. We have also JC Customs mid plate spacer to boost the supercharger up some and just allow for better airflow. I mean, that's kind of neither here nor there. You get maybe 5 horsepower out of that, but it's something. Ported CNL plenum, AccuFab throttle body, ported CNL elbow with a JLP cold air intake. I routed my scoop to the fog light. You don't necessarily have to do that. It comes with a scoop that goes up behind the grill, and basically that just allows for an inlet of nice cold fresh air. You can see there it comes with a tube. That's what it actually comes with. I fabbed up the fog light deal, but it comes with this tube that goes straight up into the bottom of the box and feeds it nice fresh cold air. Also has an opening in the fender, so it pulls from there as well, and then a little bit from the lid just so it doesn't starve for air. So that's awesome. Let's see, what else do we have? We have a full air H exhaust. It is the 1 7/8 headers with the full 3-inch exhaust, catless. We have the Trick Performance intercooler underneath the blower to help cool things down, as well as the AFCO heat exchanger, LFP mega tank intercooler fluid reservoir with full 3/4 inch Timothy White intercooler hoses. These are really cool because they run nice and hidden down underneath the AC accumulator and then around to the intercooler. So they're nice and hidden out of the way. You can see there's no more rails here. That is a super restrictive system. If you're still using these stock intercooler rails, get rid of those and get yourself a set of these hoses. I'll put a link in the description to that as well. He also makes a killer heater hose delete. You can see there's no heater hoses here like there normally is. That's because I'm running his heater hose delete as well. He is HoseHustler on Facebook. I'll put a link in the description. He sells all kinds of hose kits, but those are what we're running. I also kind of wrapped them in these Mishimoto heat sleeves, whatever you want to call these things. And they just keep the headers, because it does kind of run close to the headers down there. You can't really see, but just kind of keeps the heat away from those. I mean, it wouldn't really do anything, but I'm trying to maximize everything I can. So what else do we have here? We have 97 fuel rails with the aeromotive regulator, 6-and return on that, and that takes care of my, basically with the Walbro 255 pumps, you can overrun the stock regulator, so that takes care of that. You get yourself a set of 97 rails. You can bolt on the aftermarket regulators. I went with aeromotive, and then a 6-and return. Like I mentioned, running dual Walbro 255s with Siemens 60-pound injectors. That's pretty much it performance wise. A couple things I didn't really mention because this is all stuff that's going to come down to the preference of your tuner. I am running the SCT BA 2600, and for plugs I am running NGK BR7s. Now of course I didn't mention those only because that's going to depend on which tuner you go with. Talk to your tuner before doing plugs and on which map they like to tune, because every tuner will have their preference on what they like to tune as far as tunability and whatnot. So those two things I didn't list because again, it's going to come down to your tuner and who's doing the tuning on the truck. So ask about those. But that's pretty much it performance wise. I mean, it's kind of a simple build, but there is a lot that goes into it that I'm probably forgetting to list behind the scenes to help basically when you're spinning the Eaton this hard, you want to control the heat. Now, I was really impressed with the dyno pulls because this thing did not get hot at all. I think the intake temps were right at ambient, and the intake 2 temps at the end of the pull, even when you let off the gas and the throttle body closed, and that, you know, normally causes your heat to build up rapidly, never got over 140. I mean, super under control. It was awesome. And at one point we were doing pulls every 5-10 minutes and really building some heat. Never got over 140. I'm really impressed with this setup. It's really controlling the heat of that Eaton, and especially since we're spinning it so hard, I'm really impressed how well it's doing. I think a lot of that is attributed to the Trick Performance intercooler. That thing is a really nice piece. JC Customs is a dealer for that, so if you want one of those, hit up JC for that as well. I'm actually running the old version with the 3/4 inch line inlet. They even make one with 1 inch lines now, so that may be something I upgrade to in the future. But as far as right now, as far as this goes, this is working really, really well. So I'm super stoked on this setup. I'm really happy with everything. Pretty good numbers, like you guys saw. I'm thinking about going to the track one more time with these slicks just to see the best possible time we can run. Because if you guys didn't see that video, you guys need to go check it out. We went to the track on these 555Rs and it was okay. It didn't hook really good. I think the best 60 foot we had was 1.7, which isn't the greatest. So I'd like to see what we can do on those slicks, see if we can get to really hook and see its full potential before we do the blower swap. So I'm really considering doing that. And then we're pretty much ready for this TVS. For those of you that don't know, this is what's going on. This is why we dynoed. I wanted to get a good baseline on the completed Eaton setup. I'm super happy with this setup, and I pretty much called it done. This is about as hard as I'd ever push an Eaton, and this is actually harder than I would recommend most push their Eaton, but it's working. So our setup is proven, it works. If you guys want to use it for reference, I by all means would say go for it. I mean, it's been working great. The only thing I could recommend, and can't say enough, it's going to come down to the tuner, and I would only use Eric Korn. Don't use anyone else. I think the reason why this setup works so good and the truck runs as good as it does is because Eric Korn is doing the tuning. So for your tuning needs, Facebook, go on one of the Lightning groups, tag Eric Korn, and use Eric Korn for sure, 100%. Only person I'd let tune my truck at this point. His attention to detail is unmatched. No one can do it like he does it, and as safe as he does it, your truck will thank you. Use Eric Korn. Can't say it enough. It's going to come down to the tune, but he'll be tuning our new setup, of course. I can't wait to get this thing on there. This thing should make some steam. This is much bigger than the Eaton. And of course I got my JC goodies, my JC adapter plate, and that thing is also beautiful. Can't wait to get this all together. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Don't miss these videos that are coming. We're gonna start making some big power, and I cannot wait. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, guys. And I think that's gonna be it for today's video. Make sure you drop that thumbs up on the video, guys. Make sure you're liking these videos that you watch. It really helps it out with YouTube's algorithm and helps get the channel out there so we can grow. I really appreciate all your guys' support. Yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. I think I've rambled enough, so make sure you subscribed, make sure you like, make sure you go check out my buddy now at BackyardDyno. Go run up his numbers, subscribe to his channel, and like all his videos as well. He builds some really cool stuff, and it's all in his backyard, so it's really sick. But that's gonna be it, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.